Hi there everybody, it's Rarity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for another card making video. This one's for the first Smart Stampin International video hop, and we're all featuring stuff from the mini catalogue. There will be links in the description that you can follow to see what everyone else has made. Without too much fuss, we're just going to jump straight in and show you the kind of cards we're going to make today. Going for some nice Christmas cards today, featuring this set called Snowy Wonder and the coordinating die set. So this is the stuff from the mini catalogue that I'm showcasing today. But I want you to see how it really nicely coordinates, or can be coordinated, with both annual catalogue products and the scrapbooking products that have come out. Okay, so that's our feature set to create our beautiful little cluster of trees on there. So that's going to be the sort of focal point, and this really cute season's greetings. So if people don't celebrate Christmas and you still want to give something during that season of giving, we can use this sentiment for all of those people as well. So we're just focusing on the two solid trees in this set here, and then also the greeting comes from there, and obviously the coordinating dies. And of course, if you buy the two together, you will save 10% on that price. And then I'm using these wonderful dies called the Everyday Details dies. So you get some circles and some rectangles in here. So these rectangles, so the smallest dotted one and this little one with the stitch sort of look to it, they're the ones we've used for the sentiment and the background there. So just so that you know what we're using. Okay, and then I've brought in some designer series paper. So this one I actually made while I was at a stamp retreat, and we were given some of the scrapbooking paper to play with. So there's a Christmas set which I want to say is called Snowy Day, and that inspired the colour combination there. And this is pecan pie that I've put with it. Doesn't it look great? What a brilliant colour combination that is. And then that inspired me to then sort of think about other things that I could make along a similar line. So I've actually used the Country Woods designer series paper here. That's in the annual catalogue. Okay, to combine with these lovely trees and the greeting. Similar style, as you can see, similar layout. Okay, but bringing in those other papers. So of course you can bring in whatever you want and mix this up. You can use a stamp background. You know, I like to make my own stamp background, generally speaking, but I thought it'd be fun to use up some of this DSP, and then the wood sort of comes through in the trees and things like that. So that was my thinking. So these two, this one's layered with Basic Beige and Night of Navy. This one I've used Early Espresso and Crumb Cake. Brought in the Pecan Pie and Basic Beige into this one, and some Balmy Blue. This one's got Balmy Blue and Navy trees with the Pecan Pie in the greeting, and we brought in the Crumb Cake and Basic Beige from that one as well. So I'm all kind of keeping in that sort of blue and brown kind of combination. So we're going to do another one with you today. Okay, I've got a lot of the stuff already cut because we want these videos to be nice, short and snappy, so that you can go through and see what everyone else has made. So I've already done a bunch of the die cutting already. Okay. Oh, I die cut these little trees as well from that set. There's another die that cuts out these solid little trees in the Snowy Wonder set. So I brought in some of those. So those match the card base, which is Pecan Pie. And we're going to use this blue sheet of paper with a Crumb Cake layer. So the Crumb Cake is going to come through in our lovely little sentiment banner there. And then I'm already stamped Misty Moonlight and Pool Party, these are trees, and die cut those out. We just need a couple more and we'll have to stamp our sentiments. Okay, so from a die cutting point of view then, we're going to use our trees here. These are Night of Navy, so I've just got some, you can see I've already die cut some of them, but you know, just so that you can see the process here. We'll just have a couple more that we need to cut out, so we can just position these dies over the top of our stamped images. Okay, pop them on our cutting plate and we can run those through, and they fit very easily over those stamped images, no problem whatsoever. Okay, and then those are all going to go and complement our other little bits and pieces, you see. Right, so let's run these through just quickly. Oops, let's get the plate straight. So the pressure on there just pops those trees out beautifully. And we'll put all those away when we're done. Okay, and our sentiment we're going to stamp in pecan pie. Now normally I would stamp the sentiment and then cut it out afterwards, but this is shall we say a snug fit. Okay, so for this particular card, I actually found it was easier to be able to see through the stamp. It's a photopolymer stamp, and be able to line that up nicely within those stitched or pierced or whatever you want to call it, the little dots basically around the edge. So I'll get that nice and inked up, and just looking to get the sort of lowercase letters well within those borders, and just looking to the left and right to make sure I've got it nicely and centered, and then we'll press that down. Okay, so the little apostrophe and the larger letters do creep over the edge a little bit of the where the stitching is, but I think it's a good enough fit for what we want. Okay, so that's pecan pie, and then the other colours were Misty Moonlight and Pool Party. Really nice combination. Okay, so for this we just need to do a bit of surgery. Okay, we're just going to take off that last little row of holes on there, just so that it sits flat and flush against the card. So I'm just going to line up the cutting blade and the track there, just between those two holes on there, and just slice that off, and you get this cute little scrap, which is really, really cute. It has potential for other things to be done with it. Okay, so let's start building. Very easy. So our paper then, I want to say, is 3.5 by 5.25. Oh, let's do it in inches because that makes sense to me. Oh right, no, the panels are 3.5 by 5.25. So these are just short at 3 3/8 by 5 1/8. But the panel is 3.5 by 5.25, which will fit nicely on our half sheet A4 cards that we make here in the UK, and most other countries who use international A4 actually. So if you're using 8.5 by 11, then you can use the layers that work for you. Can't remember off the top of my head what your measurements are, but it's basically 1/2 inch shorter or narrower than my card base. So the same math, the same formula would work. Okay, so got that nice and squared on, and then we'll pop the panel straight onto there. You can jazz this up if you wanted to. I think I want this sort of interesting bit to be closer to the top, I think. Do I? Do I want it that way up? I'm not sure it matters, to be honest. I think I might put it this way up. Or personal preference. You do you. Whatever you think looks best. and I've gone with the grain going lengthways. Okay, and then our piece here is going to go against the edge of the card, well, against the edge of the DSP here, somewhere around here. It's about, I don't know, what's that, 1.5 inches from the bottom. I'm not going to measure it, but it's something like that. And then this guy, we're going to pop on, and it's going to overhang half and half, but I want some of these dots to sort of appear at the side. So I'm just leaving 3 of those dots exposed, and we'll pop that in somewhere about there. Okay, so we've got that lovely little element here. I'm going to put on these little trees next. So these weren't on my original sample. I added these as another design feature just to give the card a different look. You could keep it nice and simple if you want. So these are going to go across here. This top line of dots, one at either end, and then this one's going to snuggle in next to this one, but I'm going to put it a little higher just to give us that illusion of depth. Okay, the big trees are next. So I've got 2 light coloured trees and a dark colour. So the light ones are going to go in first. And these guys are going to line up with this row of stitching here. And this one's going to sit sort of between those 2 trees there. And this one's going to perch on the end here. So that tree's still visible. And then this one's got to squeeze in. So on this one I used a large dimensional, but you just want to be careful of your placing of that. So what I sometimes find is easier is if you place your dimensional straight onto the card, knowing that your tree is going to cover it up basically. So I know that that's not going to interfere with the positioning of that, but I can still put my little dimensional on the top of the tree exactly where it needs to be. Okay, so that's my tip for positioning those, because if I'd have put that slap bang in the middle, it would have been interfering here. So that's going to go centrally between those 2 trees and stick and stick. Okay, and then we've got our little dudes that we can tuck in, which we're just going to do with some wet glue. Don't need a lot of this stuff, just a little bit, just to secure them into place. And I want to make sure that those little dots still remain visible. There was one of the samples I felt like I'd covered a lot of that detail up, so I don't want to do that again. I want to make sure you can see it. That one's going to tuck in just there and just peek off the edge a little bit, just like that. Okay, and that is it. I'm not adding any dimensionals to it. It's not dimensionals, what am I talking about? Embellishments to it. Totally could if you wanted to, obviously. Some of those little snowflakes would be good. I think they're in the Snowy Wonder Bundle suite. You could even heat emboss some snowflakes on there, just some pearls, gems, whatever you want, rhinestones even, just to sparkle that a bit if you wanted to. But I think these make really great guy cards. Okay, they're pretty, but they've got that sort of muted look to them, which I think would be nice. Okay, the other thing you could do is stamp some of those trees into the centre. So we could use that pecan pie, which I've put down over here. I could just stamp a couple of those trees on the inside just to finish it off. Like so. And then, you know, you've got that sort of finished look on the inside. Okay. And that colour's kind of light enough if you were using a black biro. I think that would be okay to write in. Okay, so that's it. That's my card for today. Don't forget to stop by the all the other links in the description to see what everyone else has made, featuring our mini catalogue products. Okay, hope you've enjoyed this one and you've been inspired to create something a little different with your Christmas sets. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.